So I got this friend, right?
Yeah.
She got 3 kids, and so she's not married. She got 3 kids, and she was telling me about her child's father was like, I guess he got caught cheating on her several times.
Whoa, I've heard of that.
Yeah, so she says, oh, after she broke up with him, he was like, oh, you ain't gonna never find another nigga to be with you. Like, you ain't gonna find nobody that wanna be with you. Like, it's not gonna happen. You got
That's
3
harsh.
kids.
That is harsh.
It is harsh, but what was crazy, I was like, he kind of right. Like, unfortunately, he's kind of right. Like, you got 3 kids from somebody. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of goddamn responsibility.
Same
Yeah.
person.
Same person. All right, even if it's 2 or 3 different guys, it's still a lot to take on.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to give her a very honest opinion. So I was like, yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you. This shit gonna be tough. Like I look at women nowadays, and they got, it's women out here who are 31, 30, 29, whatever, young, successful.
Yeah.
Look good. They got money. They got their own shit, and
Yeah.
can't find a fucking dude.
Yeah.
So imagine a woman with 3 goddamn kids. I'm not saying it like that, but 3 kids,
Dating.
or even 4 kids. This shit is tough out here.
How old is she?
She's 31.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so my thing was that, and I told her straight up, like, he might be right, but, like, in the very least, you just have to be super exceptional for somebody to find you and say, okay, well, she may be worth it. And I said, in my opinion, the nigga, he probably gonna be about 50. Like, he's gonna be an old ass, old head, a nigga who already been established, already had his kids, and he don't really care about having kids at this point. He already, made it. He good. He's sitting on some old money. But what y'all think about that?
That's a lot there, brother.
Yeah, I mean, that's tough.
For her, I mean, one, so as women get older, that's already, their pool is a lot less. But then having children on top of that,
Yeah.
I think you have to find a certain type of man who's just willing to accept that. I think that's the only thing it's not that, a better man, a good man, whatever. You just have to find a man who's willing to accept that. That's the only thing I think it is.
No, I agree with you. It's not about being better or not. It's just about, is that something that you would accept? Is that something that's okay with you? You know what I mean? So it's like, a better person won't necessarily accept her as just a different person. How did she take what you were saying, though?
She was like, well, there's guys out here, who wanted to date me. So I told her, I said, listen, you're attractive.
Yeah.
Yeah. They want
Every
time.
female can find a nigga that's going to date them. But if marriage is the goal, realistically speaking, I don't know any nigga besides the lame that's just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna sign up for 3 kids. Because most think about it like this.
You're not lame.
The average
He is.
he kind of is, though.
He is.
No.
So
That nigga ain't got no confidence. Who's gonna go for a woman with 3 jets? Like the daddy he ain't even on child support.
and that was the other part of it too.
But that's
So
a separate issue, though.
Yeah.
That is a separate issue. But that was something also. So she wouldn't put the nigga on child support. So I was like, listen, even if I fucking fell in love with you, I don't know that. And she's a friend, so it's not my situation. I'm giving an example. But I said, I don't know that any man would be like, well, you know what? That last nigga ain't want to take care of these 3 kids. But I'll do it, even though he's not on child support. That just becomes a financial strain. So the way I see it is, if I don't have no kids, and I meet a woman with 3 kids, let's say I want to build with her, I want to buy a home. Let's say she had no kids. I could buy a 1-bedroom apartment or a condo and be good.
Yeah.
But you got 3 kids.
The one thing for me is like, sorry to cut you off, but it's like the most overriding thing is you as a woman have to be the one for me. Like, you have to be an exceptional human being, and also you got to be like very, I guess, disciplined within yourself, within your children, within your situation. That's the only way I can see that working. Like, if you still like, chasing around your child's father or dependent on him, for example, for anything besides just being a father, then nah, that ain't gonna work. There's too many moving parts. But if you just like, I don't need him, I just want him to be a father to them. I don't really need his money. I just want him to be a dad. Just take them out to the park or whatever.
If the situation is good, then the situation is good.
Yeah.
Somebody could go in there and it could be a fruitful relationship.
Right.
Absolutely. I'm not saying that they're...
I don't know who that is.
So
you're not with it.
Hell no.
So the situation to me is not... It wasn't even so bad that she had 3 kids. It was the fault that... Well, the problem I had with it was that she didn't want to put the nigga on child support.
Come on.
So that automatic... Imagine 3 kids what that costs to go to school.
Yeah.
Even if I want to buy a home, if I decide I want a 2-2 condo or even a goddamn townhouse, you got 3 kids, baby. We at least need 4 bedrooms now. Yeah. So naturally, that automatically... And then you hear women all the time say, oh, My kids don't need. I don't need nobody to take care of my kids. What are we talking about right
You
now?
do though,
You
yeah.
said-
Because essentially, if you're dating someone with a kid, that child becomes a responsibility. They got to have a bedroom for themselves. They got to have. They're in the house watching TV. You know, that's the light bill going up. They got to wash their clothes. You know, they got to go to school. They hungry. You got to feed them. You know, you're not buying food and not, you know, saying, oh, wait, I'm not feeding your child, but me and you can eat this, and you got to figure out what the fuck they finna eat.
Some women don't even like you to buy their child because they don't want that idea in their heads. They're like, oh, you got to buy them food, buy me food, buy him a gift for his birthday. Some women don't even want you to. Don't worry about that.
But if you living together,
okay,
it just happens. So
I'm
that's the
talking
whole
about-
thing.
I'm talking dating.
Yeah. So dating, that's the thing. I tell people all the time, like when you have a kid or kids, for a female, it's a lot harder to find marriage.
Oh,
Because
marriage.
so that's the thing. You will find the men that want to date you. You had 3 kids, but you still bad. But you know, but
So back
as
to
far
what,
as marriage, it's gonna be a lot harder.
So back to what Peter was saying. Why I don't think that necessarily makes you a lame is because if the situation is straight, like I said earlier. She could be a responsible person. She could be taking care of her kids. And when you join into the situation, it might not be a burden to you. It could be something that's
But-
like.
Nah, that's lame.
it's
lame.
automatic.
but how's that
though.
lame if that's
It's
the
not- I won't
person?
Even, I
Well,
won't
let
even
me
call the
tell
name.
you.
I won't even call the name, but go ahead.
Yeah, I'll tell you. I think it's lame because he must have no confidence. He
But
must.
what if that person is the right person for him?
Right.
The woman?
Yeah,
The
he
woman,
loves her
yes.
that
But
much.
that's
no,
hypothetical.
like
This whole thing is hypothetical. What we
No,
talking about?
this is somebody's situation. This is a lot of people's situations. Though.
for it to be the right person, I think like for me, if that was me, and I had a situation like that, I was talking to a woman. She had like 4 kids or 3 or 4 kids already. So I gave her a chance. I gave it a chance, but to me, I would have to take if I wanted to marry her. I'm gonna have to divest the father, the biological father, of legal custody, legal rights over his children.
Why would you have to do
And
that?
would you
I'm
have to-
taking legal rights over the children.
Wait, why would you do that?
No, Peter.
Because
Hell no.
I'm not gonna be if I'm marrying you, it's
Uh-huh.
not gonna be 3 people planning these kids out. It's not gonna be
That's
me,
exactly
you,
what
and
it's gonna
him.
be.
If I want to send him to a summer program, I'm not calling him up to get his permission to send him. It's gonna be me and you planning out.
I can get that.
It's not
part.
gonna be 3 people.
I can get that, but
Nah, that's
I think
unreasonable.
I think it's
It's,
different.
it's what I'm going to demand. I'm
can
not jumping into it so there's 3 of us raising these kids.
I can respect that. I'm gonna tell you why. It's hard to raise a child. I had a stepdaughter at once upon a time. I don't anymore. But once upon a time, like I remember being in a situation where I was helping with the homework, doing all that shit. I'm getting hard for work. I'm tired. I'm helping with homework. And guess what? Kid make honor roll. I ain't getting no phone call. Oh, Dad, you coming up? No, you calling biological father. The nigga who ain't did shit. So I understand that place. That whole point Peter was making. So I think it's a conversation you have to have. But you also have to respect that if a father's in a child's life, you can't demand him to be out.
Exactly.
No,
That's
look,
unrealistic.
Look, I don't care. It can
Oh,
seem
shit.
unrealistic. I'm not planning with 3 of us on the children. If I'm marrying you, it's me and you planning this out. We're in this marriage together. It's not me, you, and the other dude. He probably got a new woman already.
Commander
And
Peter.
you know what? And I think that's the step that you're completely overlooking. So say you want to take you, your wife, and whatever to summer camp in North Carolina. It's your wife's responsibility. Like, hey, baby daddy, me, Peter, and Jada going to the summer.
And
That's
when he says no, and he still has
but-
legal
but
custody
things like-
over
see,
the children,
that's what I'm saying. It's
that
like-
cancels the trip.
This is what I'm saying. Things like that most likely don't happen. It's not like I'm asking you for permission to go.
Yeah, you're telling me.
I'm just telling you this is what's going to happen.
Especially if he's not an active father.
Right.
You don't have to worry about that.
Yeah,
but
Even if he is active father, he's definitely not going to say no.
But so where I got to stop you is he can say no.
Legally,
He can say no.
Anything
Now
is possible.
what you do with it is what you do with it. But you got to understand, if you choose to go into a situation where someone already has kids with somebody else, you have to accept that this is a blended family.
Right.
Now, what Peter is saying, while I think it is unreasonable, it is his preference. And he's honest with himself in saying that that's something that he cannot do. So I can respect that.
Absolutely.
That's something that he cannot do. And I would
Right.
say, Peter, don't do it, because you cannot say, hey, if I'm going to marry this woman, I now am become the father. That's
That's the discussion
That's
I had.
wholly-
That's why I had to have the discussion with the young lady I was dating. And I was talking to some people because she already had 4 kids, and it's like,
God.
I don't have any children. Like, will I have a child, or I'm just gonna adopt all of yours and take the custody away from the father? That's
Again,
that's
Peter.
a big
That's a tough
and take the
conversation.
yeah.
Tough,
like,
nigga, that doesn't
like,
make
does
sense.
she want me that much? Because that's what I will demand. I'm not planning with him how to raise the kids. They're my children now.
They're not your children.
They're
now.
not your.
Well, then I'm not joining the situation.
And you shouldn't. Yeah,
There we go.
perfect. That's exactly where you
I'm not
should
gonna be here married to you, raising the kids, and then there's somebody else's kids. They're my kids.
Man.
I'm not gonna be there every day.
So
He's never there, and then
that's Russell
there's
Wilson
somebody
right there.
else's kids.
That's not Russell Wilson. That's
Russell
crazy ass
Wilson.
nigga talking right
That's
now.
my
You
kids.
know what?
I'm not saying he can't visit or nothing.
What do you mean? Peter,
Like, it's
those are
time
his
sharing.
kids.
Yeah, but so they're not married anymore. So it's a second phase of life. It's
What
a
if they
new
were never
life.
married? What if they were never married?
All right. Well, if they were never married, it's still a new life, and you have to. If she's with me, we gotta gel.
So in your scenario, that father should relinquish his parental rights to you.
Not to me, but he's gonna have to let go of his rights, and then I will
What's
adopt
the
the
difference
children.
between what he just
That's
said
the
and what
same
you
shit.
just
Or
said?
all right, if you say it like that, fine.
So he should stop
But
being a
I'm
father.
gonna have legal custody.
Right. So he should stop being a father to them because you're here.
He can be a father. I'm gonna have legal custody.
Yeah,
He can
see,
be a
tough,
father.
dog.
Be in the life
That's
all
not
you
tough.
want.
That's pretty simple.
Let me ask you this question straight out. Would you marry a woman with 3 kids?
No.
Me,
Would you?
generally, probably not, man. Like what I think you said it, Junior said it, and you said it. That person, for me to open myself up to her and that situation, it just got to be a perfect situation.
Right.
And those don't typically exist.
And what I think though is like to answer that question, it just depends. It's like I'm thinking of women right now who are dating who have children. Like those women that I'm thinking about, they're very disciplined. Like so they won't let you meet their children or buy them gifts or do anything with their children until that relationship is really, solid and gelled. Like they don't play. They could sleep with a new guy every Friday, and none of those guys are meeting their children. It's women like
That's how it
that
should be.
that I can take you very seriously.
And so it's funny that you got on that topic. So I was actually dating a young lady, and she had a daughter that was 10, and her thing was, you're not going to meet her for a year. So, in my opinion, it was the stupidest shit I ever heard in my
That's a long
life.
time.
Because I asked her, I said, okay, so we're dating for a year. We're together. We're in a relationship. We already built a bond. We've already established what it is we're trying to achieve, which is, marriage is the ultimate goal. If your daughter doesn't like me, and when I finally meet her after a year, what happens? She says, oh, well, then that's it. Like, we can't be together. So I'm like, are you stupid?
Yeah.
God.
We
damn.
just
One
spent the
trial.
whole year together
No.
in a relationship for your daughter not to like me. And it could have been something as simple as, I'm not her fucking father, which a lot of kids may have that complex.
Yeah.
Sure.
You're not my dad. So if that's the issue, or even she doesn't even express to you what it is that really is bothering her, she just doesn't like me. We just wasted a year of our relationship, for a year of our time, our life.
Yeah, so what's stupid about what she said, in my opinion, is that a year is just arbitrary. Like, it doesn't mean anything about where your relationship is going to be from day 1 to day 365. So to me, putting that
but
on
they're
there
all
is just kind of
arbitrary.
dumb.
They're
Yeah,
all
all these rules are
if she said
arbitrary.
3 months, that's arbitrary.
Exactly. So I don't put a timeline on
So
it.
it's
just
more of
really-
a feeling for you.
It got to be a feeling.
a connection.
Yeah, a connection, a feeling. Don't say, all right, in 3 months we will be here. No, you don't know what's going to happen in 3 months or a year.
But
Yeah.
a woman like that, I believe that's somebody that I would take seriously. If like, okay, I know she's disciplined. Like, that's somebody I would take seriously enough to marry because she has discipline. She has like, even if it's arbitrary, a year, 6 months, whatever she want to put to it. She says like, no matter how good this is, you could be, Romeo. Well, you not meeting my kid until day 366.
So that sounds good. But would you marry a woman with 3 kids?
Me no. I would not. I mean, I married up. But if I was single, I'm not the man. Like I said, you could care. I'm weak. I'm immature. Whatever the fuck you want to call me, I'm that. But I ain't marrying these kids because only because
No, you said it correctly.
these kids.
You said
Only
it completely
because
correctly.
one, I don't have children of my own, so I don't know how to be a parent to them. I'm just gonna take them out. Y'all want to go to the park? Ice cream? All right, cool.
Right.
Fuck it. That one, and they're not mine.
Yeah.
So I can't really like the way I grew up. We was beat. We was disciplined.
Exactly.
So if they out of line, what about? Hey, stop it, Junior.
And you know
That's
what?
not me.
Stop
It's
it.
so funny you say that because again, I was in that situation. So I was with a woman who had a kid, and
That kid is yours, by the way. The woman you talking about?
yeah, all
She
right.
told me.
So what was crazy about the situation was that when it came time to punish,
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like I was a snitch in the house. Like I was a puss ass nigga. Like, hey, your child just did this.
Right.
And it's like, it's almost like a loss of respect when a child looks like, nigga, you snitching on me? Like, so it became a problem because it's like, you're
How do you
trying to
discipline somebody else's kid?
Exactly. And then there has to be enough trust in that situation for her to understand that, okay, I'm not disciplining this child because I'm angry, but I need her to understand that there's a certain level of respect.
How long were y'all together?
4 years.
3 or 4 years?
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
you should be able to discipline the child if you're together 3-4 years.
and
that's a long time.
That's one of the things that comes up when you're dealing with a person who has kids, you know.
That is something, and that's something you have to talk about with that person. When I was in a relationship with somebody who had a kid, one day I talked to her and I was like, hey, you know what? If this relationship is going to make it, something that we're going to have to do is what Peter would not do is me, you, and that your baby daddy, we have to have a conversation about the dynamics of this relationship because I can't be in a situation. You got to, because you can't be in a situation where, hey, this is my vision for raising a family and he has a completely different vision and it's something that I completely value. Because that's one of the most important things in a relationship. Do we have the same values?
Right.
If we don't have the same values, how are we going to be in a relationship? And that's something you have to establish early.
The three of us could have the talk, but at the end of the day, I don't see how am I planning things and doing all this stuff. Whereas three people, it's hard for two parents to agree.
So
now, you got three parents.
So what I'm not
agree.
saying is that on a day-to-day basis that you have to have a conversation with the three of you. What I'm saying is that you talk about the vision of how you raise kids. Are you cool with that? So that person trusts that, okay, I know Peter's values and whatever his specific thing Peter's want to do, I trust that it's in the best interest of my children. And that's what needs to be expressed. Because if you don't express that early, there's this confrontation that will last for as long as your relationship.
You know what's funny? When I saw Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade had an interview with Oprah around the time of their baby,
right?
Kavia.
Oh, the girl,
the new girl, yeah, with the surrogacy, whatever. So one thing I think Oprah asked was like, how was it coming to his situation when D Wade had 2 kids and I think his nephew's kid that he raises, or his sister's kid,
somebody's
something
kids,
like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And she was saying, yeah, you know, we just me and the oldest kid, Zaire or whatever, we had a conversation and we have a respect there, whatever. And I'm thinking like, all right, if I'm 17 and this lady who I've seen my whole life was like, hey, let's have a mutual understanding. I'm like, bitch, watch out. Like, stop playing with me. Like, I'm what, 15, 16 at this time? Like, no, you're not going to be.
And then you still have love for your actual biological
mother. Even
so
if, and your mother probably, she not Gabrielle Union, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, but that's the your girl.
But in that situation right there, it's about a dynamic. So the dynamic is different. It's so Gabrielle stepping into a situation where that kid is 15, 16, 17. It doesn't mean you're going to treat that 15, 16, 17 like you would have yours. You just have to establish a new dynamic. Like, okay, what is it going to be that makes us specifically work? And that's what you need to establish, and that's what you need to work out. Not, hey, I'm going to be your mama, and you 15, 16, 17, and you, whatever, I catch you, I don't know, skipping school, and I'm finna whoop you like I would my own kid. My own. Nah, you just got to set up a different dynamic, something that's cool for all of y'all.
And the only thing I'll be thinking about, too, is like, what would happen if, say, okay, D Wade and Gabrielle got a kid. They got their own.
Right.
Like, all right, now this my shit now. I could y'all can do whatever the fuck y'all want to do now.
Right.
Because me and him, we got one.
Right.
That's something that I fear on my own. It's like, if I date you with your children, let's say you got 2 or 3, then we have one. I'm like, all right, well.
It's going to be different.
This
us.
This are real kids.
This us right here.
And then them, they can do whatever they want. I don't.
And you know, it's crazy because I think it happens naturally. You know, like.
Probably.
I was in the situation again. You know, like.
You've been in every situation.
Yeah, you know,
I know, right?
I dated women with kids since, you know, shit, I was 18, man. Yeah. Like, I was 19. I was in college. I think I had a girlfriend who was, I want to say, like, 27. I was, like, 21, and she had, like, 3 kids, you know. Some of the best pussy ever. But
that's all that matters.
You know, but
they fertile.
In my mind, I knew that I wasn't going to marry her. It was just something I did at the time. It was constant. It was steady pussy.
Wow.
The home cooked meal. You know, I had to help a little bit out around the house, you know, with some bills and shit.
How many kids? How many kids?
This took a
She had
turn.
3.
She had 3, and you were 19.
I was like 21.
And she's 27. You said?
Yeah, I was in college. I was at FIU.
Would you have committed
marry
to her?
Hell no. I mean, I was.
So you
I was,
knew that at the time that this is just a good
it
little
was.
thing.
You know, think
He's
about
only
it
21.
Yeah, he was only 21 anyway, so.
And that's the thing I try
Do you
to.
think she knew that also, or was she like thinking that you're gonna propose? Or something?
I'm quite sure she didn't think fucking that. Like I was. It was a 6-year gap. I mean,
She's not.
honestly, I was 21. You know,
She 27 with 3
27.
kids.
Like, come on, baby.
Yeah,
that
that's not
shit tough
realistic.
out here. Like, I don't have no kids. I think in a situation like that, I would have had. If I had 3 kids, 4 kids, maybe. But like I always say it all the time, you can see a lot of dudes out here who got 15 kids, 5 kids, future 6 kids, 7, 9, 10 kids, and you still find women who are willing to have a child from him.
I think women like that who can accept a man having multiple kids, even with multiple
Baby moms.
it's because like those women understand that the mothers are gonna take care of the children.
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
like,
and that's the other part
Which
about
is
it.
messed
So,
up, but yeah, that's right. It's,
Wait,
it's
so it's
life.
like, all right.
that's the issue. When you're a man, it's different.
It is
so
different.
If I'm a guy dating a woman with 3 kids, I'm almost guaranteed that 95% of the time she's gonna have the kids with her.
yes,
So
yes.
it automatically becomes your financial responsibility as well.
Automatically,
I would. I mean, think about it.
depends.
If you're looking for long-term marriage, not just dating. Again, I'm looking.
long-term? Oh, okay.
So we moving together. I'm not feeding you yourself and myself. I'm feeding you and the 3 kids as well.
Yeah.
You know, so that's the part I'm talking about. A woman to find a nigga to date her, regardless of what situation she's in.
Yeah.
But as far as marriage goes,
That's different. I mean,
it's not. And I'm telling women all the time, you can have 3 kids, 10 kids. You will always find somebody. As long as you look good and you got some good snapper, a nigga gonna date you.
That's facts.
But
Yeah.
marriage, I can't say a lot of niggas don't.
Totally
commit to that.
different.
one thing I just want to put out there is like, if you have kids and I don't want to take care of them, that don't mean
I'm a bad guy.
I just don't know them.
That's crazy.
I don't pay for strangers. Like, you feel what I'm saying? That don't make me a bad person.
That's
I just
crazy.
don't know them. That's it.
And
Yeah,
you know
I
what's
feel you on that though.
I don't know them.
Guys, what you gonna say?
no? So what's crazy about that is that I've
I
met
agree,
women
though.
who always say, "Well, any real man, any
See?
man that loves me,
Bullshit.
bitch, stop that."
Then I'm not.
That's that fairy tale stuff. That's not real life.
I'm a peon. I'm not a real man. If that's what it means to take care of other people's kids or whatever, or you just put them on my lap and like, you ain't buy them nothing for Christmas. You ain't buy no.
At least get the money from him. If you're not even doing
That
that,
was my
and then
part.
I'm putting in my money and
So
my
would that
time,
make a difference for you? Would you now
me-
date that person or marry that person?
To me, I'm not
It's
marrying a woman.
easier to consider.
It is, and I think that's
It's a better
that's the
option.
big deal. If he's at least helping, then it's not automatic. It's not 100% my financial burden. You get what I'm saying? So a mother's she's gonna exhaust all her financial income towards her kids and her family. That's fine, but in most cases, a woman can't take care of 3 kids on her own, or she's struggling to an extent. Whether you're depriving that kid of summer camp, Jordans instead. He's wearing fucking Air Forces instead of Jordans. He may want to go.
That's not a necessity.
I'm
nigga.
just saying, but it's just that you're depriving him of some things that if you had assistance from the father, that they would easily have. Like I can imagine in 3 kids, you probably getting about $1,000 a month in child support. Do you know what the fuck that can go towards?
While I don't read your mind, I'm a go out on a limb and say that whether she had child support or not, y'all niggas would not be with this person. So I think that's irrelevant.
But it's back to my larger point again. Child support would,
It would help.
The situation.
and it shows like
But
this.
y'all wouldn't be dating that person anyways.
No, I wouldn't.
Exactly.
It shows
So
like
what?
it shows like a form of like there's structure involved.
Exactly.
Something is like a discipline again. But even child support, I never really liked the idea of child support. Anyways, like I understand niggas out here not doing what they should be doing, but I would hope that we would come to some form of. I would be like, if I was going to look, buddy, help us out with the bills, or just these not your kids no more. Like just pick one.
Nah,
I
that's
think
not
I
real.
think
I
I think you
completely
should be able to do
disagree
that,
with
though.
Yeah, I think you should.
If you're not gonna, because so the thing is, you can't be already. You fucked her by putting her in a position when she has 3 kids.
Right.
She's already 20 times less desirable as a female. I'm just being honest.
So then give this dude the opportunity to not pay child support?
No, I'm saying that nigga needs to pay child support.
Exactly.
So but you have niggas that's not doing it right now to begin with.
Wait,
So-
hold up. Junior just said to give that person the option to pay, or you're just not the father. I'm saying, no, nigga, you got to pay, period.
But the
Oh.
problem is that you still have niggas who won't pay regardless. You
Well,
know
I
what I'm
mean,
saying?
yes, of course. I mean,
And
that always happens.
That was my friend's situation.
Okay.
She was in a situation where she's like, "Oh, I don't need him." Like I'm like, you live at home with your mom, and and you sleep in the room with your daughter and your son, just like 3 of y'all in one room. Like, how does that make any sense? Like,
It's crazy.
if you got $1,000 a month in child support, that easily puts you in an apartment somewhere. You could put $300-$400 with that, and now you got a 2-3 or some shit. But as an adult to say, "Oh, I'm working to become a nurse," it doesn't fucking matter. And she's already a nurse, but she's still struggling. So you have 3 fucking kids. That's 3 mouths to feed.
That's difficult. Yeah.
So you need that assistance. I don't give a fuck what you think you are. I can't see a man or female, who's even a doctor saying, "I don't need no assistance." You need help. At some point in time, it's a lot to. I have a daughter.
It's just a lot to.
It's a lot to.
Not even
and I
just
have
financially.
One.
Right.
It's a lot.
It's a lot to just juggle.
You need them to be a part of that, especially financially. Because
that's fair.
I feel like walking into a situation. Let's just say, I'm not dating a woman with 3-4 kids, but I'm just saying if I did, it'll be easier for me to say, "Yeah, I want to date you." Then you have 3 kids and you're getting child support. Then to saying, "Nigga, whatever I can't cover you, that's now on you." Because that's essentially what you're saying.
Hey, so when I think about this situation that we're talking about, a lot of it from just my outside looking in, because I don't read your minds, it seems like we're talking about things as it relates to or comes from our values of how we grew up, because we're all Nigerian. So, like, what was that girl?
I think she was American, or she was Jamaican mixed with some other shit. I don't remember.
So my situation, she was Haitian.
She was Haitian. So how do y'all think like people's cultural values have to do with that?
I don't.
What? Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say like I think because y'all just mentioned Jamaicans, Haitians, and I don't know if Caribbean people put their spouses on child support. Not spouses, their child's fathers.
Some do.
Yeah, I don't know if I've heard that a lot.
Some do, but I think it's a pride thing. They have this mentality that, if he don't want to do shit for the kids, fuck him. I'm like, you can't do that because it becomes somebody else's burden. It's like saying, you don't got to take care of your kid. I find another nigga to take care of your kids. No, we don't want to. Like,
but that's emotional.
Because I don't know any Nigerian situation where the father's on child support.
Me either.
But you know why?
And I was just about to say that.
You don't see a lot of divorce rates in Nigerian community. So
not because the marriages is good.
Not because it's good, but they just don't get divorced.
They just don't do it. Right.
They stick together. They stay together for the family.
But not even just marriages. Like people who have kids out of wedlock, I still don't see a lot of them putting the dudes on child support.
But so
which I'm not saying is a good or bad thing.
Okay, so for instance, like look at my situation. I'm not with my daughter's mom, but nigga, I got her 50-50. You didn't have to tell me when her mom and I split. I told her mom to schedule. Listen, nigga, every other day, every other weekend. That's 50-50. And that was just me. As a father, I'm a proud father. I think Daniel does the same thing. He's not a person who I get my child every other weekend or when it's convenient. You stand up in the paint and you take care of your responsibility.
Yeah.
So I think we kind of raised different. Most of us, all of us grew up in 2-parent households. So it's kind of like, we've had the example of what it is to be a man.
Yeah.
And even if we're not in a situation, no matter how tough it is,
always involved.
We're going to be involved. My daughter, I tell you no lie. There was a week where, her mom does a good job of keeping her, during the day now that there's no school. But I constantly make sure, okay, my mind, okay, I know she had a baby all day today. Even though it's my day, I'm going to pick her up tonight. Fuck it. My nephew, my nieces were in town. They were already going to be at the house. I said, fuck it. I kept the baby for 3 weeks, and didn't even take her, to her mom none of those days.
Did y'all ever have the conversation about child support?
Nah, and I think, again, it boils down to I'm already super responsible. It's already 50-50. Mm-hmm. So it's like, what child support for what? Mm-hmm. You can try to, but with the frequency in which I have my daughter, you won't get shit. It's not going to add up to anything. We both split the responsibility, whether it comes to food, money, school. We do everything down the middle. So, I can't be mad. I just feel like, she can try it if you want to.
Don't say that, nigga. Don't say that.
Yeah,
don't say that.
It's 50-50, so she won't get shit.
She'll play this shit in court right now.
This nigga here said.
You heard what he said?
Nah, you don't want that, man.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, yeah, I'm just gonna reiterate. You definitely just don't.
No, you don't want no problems. But I do feel like it is important though, because you do have some men who imagine a nigga who went and had 3 kids with a female. Sold her on false pretenses that, I'm going to marry you. I'm going to make you my wife. Man, baby, you know what I mean? You caught a nigga cheating multiple times. And now you strip her of everything that she had, whether it was a home, her car, because she caught you fucking up.
Yeah, that's what happened to chick I was talking to. Like, she married her high school sweetheart. She's a Haitian young woman, and she has good values. She's a nurse. She's making good money. But every single time she got pregnant, her baby daddy cheated on her.
Same
It's
guy.
the same person?
Same
Oh,
guy,
yeah.
her high school sweetheart.
Okay.
She has 4 kids. Each time she got pregnant, he cheated on her. And then
Damn.
eventually she said, fuck it, I'm going to go in a different direction. But like even now she's still single. So it's not like it's gotten easier for her. Now she just does everything on her own because like her culture, her dad was telling her to don't.
Stay.
My bad, I missed it. What did you say she was again?
She's Haitian.
Haitian, okay.
And then her dad was telling her to keep the relationship, don't get divorced, and she's still single. She's still trying to find someone who's willing to commit
How many
with
kids she
her
got?
for
Jesus.
commit with her. Like
Jesus.
I know
That's
when
funny,
I told
dog.
my mom, like, "Hey, mommy, I'm talking to someone with 4 children." She didn't
Idiots,
even let
we
me
don't
finish
do
the sentence.
You don't do it.
It would not be your portion.
You know your person, idiots.
She did not let me. She said no. I said, "You haven't even met her. You don't even know."
No.
So that brings me to. Oh, my fault. You got something.
No,
to
I was
say.
gonna say like with that, I think it's 2 points to that. Like one, I think like okay, when you tell the story, every time she got pregnant, her child's father cheated on her.
Yeah.
And her father told her to stay and work it out.
Yeah.
I think like a lot of women, it's 2 points to it. So I think one, women who are dating in this 2020 now who are single, they expect most of the men they meet to have children. And I think the second reason why to that, the second point I was going to make is that because they see this as almost the nature of men to like procreate, to have as many kids with you and sleep with you. And
Well, that's a lot of women, bro.
yeah.
That's
So
a
I
lot
think
of women
that
too.
that's why I think like women are down to date a guy who has kids.
Yeah,
it's not an
absolutely.
exclusion for most women, but for men, we don't see women as being like, going out promiscuous. Well, not promiscuous, that's the right word, but like procreating all over the place and having
Hell
multiple
no.
children. See, we feel like we can't take that, but women expect men.
Right.
Not expect, but a lot of women who are dating men expect them
They're
to
more
have a kid.
forgiving of it, and you're saying they're more
Not
tolerant of the
forgiving, but
idea.
yeah, you
They're more
understand it
open.
more.
to
You
it.
understand it. I've
It's
heard
like-
women say when they
Seems
date,
more normal.
they expect the guy when they're on a date to say, "Hey, I have a kid" on date 1. They
Yeah.
expect
Wow.
that they're gonna ask that question. You have
I've
any
heard-
kids?
I've heard
and they
women
say
say
yes
that.
on date 1.
I've heard
It's not
women
even
say
like
that.
a
That's crazy.
yeah.
I've heard it though.
Because they
I've
see
heard
it as like it's our nature. Like I have kids.
I'd be surprised sometimes when women tell me like
They
some of
don't?
the guys they talk to or whatever, and they're like, yeah, and my dad or whatever. They'll say he had they'll talk about their father that he has like all these kids around and stuff, and
Yeah.
they never really they don't have much of a relationship with their dad.
That's what I
and-
find to be funny. Like a lot of island women,
Yeah, a lot of these
it's fucking
Caribbean
normal.
girls.
She's like, my dad had like 7 kids.
Yeah.
Africans too.
Yeah,
Africans too.
Yeah,
but
because we
it's,
ain't shit.
yeah. I mean, I think as a whole, just men together. I
Yeah,
mean,
we ain't shit.
Niggas trash.
Dudes is trash, bro.
and it's crazy because I always try to explain this shit like with the whole kids thing. It's not natural for a man. Because I remember somebody told me like I had one of my close friends send me a YouTube video, and he was saying how it's so, what's the word? Unmanly for a man to take care of another man's kids. I'm like, fool, what you talking about? Because this is when I had a stepdaughter.
Yeah,
And
that's
he was like, bro, that shit's not part of like the fucking cycle of men. I'm like, what you talking about? So
To take care of another man.
yeah, so then he was like, he brought it to he said, if you look in the wild, in the kingdom, in the
Animal Kingdom.
animal kingdom, yes. He was like, you won't see a fucking lion taking care of another fucking lion's kid.
They also don't have Wi-Fi. Shut the fuck up, bro.
Or
You
thumbs.
fuck up, bro.
So he told me, he said, in the wild, he's like, they
I don't want to hear it. Idiots.
We're not in
Yeah,
What
that's
the fuck?
I don't like that reference.
Not at all.
Yeah, but it made me feel some type of way because he was like, you know what?
It shouldn't.
It's an adult. He's like, you're taking care of another man's adult semen.
A gorilla
Oh my
doesn't take
gosh.
care of a different gorilla's
Shut
child.
up. Do they have Facebook? Shut
Right.
up.
They don't have
Shut
thumbs.
up.
They can't text. Or-
What?
That don't make
That'll make
sense.
But Peter's story, it got me thinking about a situation that I know about where, and I don't want to get into the long story, but essentially the father of this daughter was saying, hey, look, I know your man ain't shit, but you got to be with him. And he was saying it on the basis of culture. So what I want to bring up, because what comes to my mind is, have y'all noticed a difference in women based on their culture?
Absolutely.
Speak on it, because you sound like you got something.
So you know what's funny? I could be talking about a past situation, and not to be too specific. With,
What? She listened to the pod?
No, not even. But just a past situation, and I find it so funny. They always be like, "Your ex was American." I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah, she was. Oh, yeah, we know that. It's like they automatically know certain things come with certain, cultures.
But I don't. Why would people assume that about you?
They were always
people
fucking
stereotype people by culture.
And it's usually very right.
Wrong, or indifferent.
When you hear like a mom who's not that active, or a dad who may not be that active, you can automatically assume sometimes that I've seen this happen in the past, and this is typically how these type of men or these type of women handle those situations. And I've heard it a lot. Like when I express an ex of mine, they're like, "Oh yeah, that one. Oh yeah, she was Haitian. She liked to cook and clean. When she had a slick mouth, oh yeah, she was Haitian."
I don't know. I've met a lot of nice Haitian women.
I mean, I have too. I love Haitian women. I love all type of women except for.
Except for what?
Don't even drop.
Don't do it.
I won't do it.
Don't do it. We
I
here
almost
the
asked you to
Shameless
say
Goats
it.
respect and love all women.
We love them all.
No, I think if you black, you it's the same type of person. Like it's just differences in culture. Like I guess to answer his question, which cultures are more permitting of cheating? Is that what you're?
No, that wasn't. That was not my question. My question was just noticing a difference because the situation that Peter had brought up, it just reminded me of a story where another father was telling her daughter, "Yo, stay with that man because that's what men do." But he was saying that on the basis of culture.
But I think that is universal.
Okay.
That your dad telling you as a woman, "Oh, he cheated. Oh, whatever." No big deal.
And that's probably,
and he was apologizing. He was apologizing to her. I don't know if he did that every time. He apologized every time he got her pregnant.
I would.
But he was saying like,
he said you apologize.
Yeah,
my bad, baby.
He was apologizing and saying, "I'm not. I'm trying to. I won't do it again and stuff." I don't know. I mean, it sucks because now he's with the girl, the woman that he cheated on her with. Now they're together, and she has 4 kids with him, and he's living a life with someone else.
It makes it's wild.
That was the love of his life.
Like when you were talking about the finances, she had to move back in with her mom in her mom's place with the 4 kids. She might not, if she had another person, the finances might be easier for her. And she's a nurse. She makes good money, but
it's still a lot of fucking mouths to feed.
Right. But I guess what I was trying to say is like, so her dad in that situation saying work it out. I think a part of it too is like, one, he probably think, yeah, that's a man nature, no big deal.
Exactly.
But two,
exactly.
Maybe more important is like
he understands that she probably don't have no other options.
Right. Or like you need this security that's built. At least staying with him. At least you got somewhere to stay. At least the kids have a dad who's there.
Don't bring your ass home. With
coming back home, right?
Really
I
think
kids. That's a part of it.
Could y'all imagine yourself as fathers saying that to y'all daughters?
No,
hell no.
That's crazy.
No. Honestly,
the hypocrisy.
You would say that.
Hell no.
At that point,
I'll kill the nigga first of all.
No.
Why? For being like you? What? Come
on.
on.
I ain't no cheater, but
I'm not saying you a cheater, but I'm saying if we all saying that generally dudes ain't shit.
First of all, you at this point, this would be 25 years later from now, probably. Mm-hmm. So you'd be 60s and shit, 50s. That nigga whoop your ass.
I'm still the biggest nigga in the room anywhere I walk into. You gotta see me.
At 60,
you won't try 60, Mike Tyson.
At 60,
this
nigga, you not Mike Tyson.
This nigga would probably be like 28 or so. I don't know, 28, 29. That nigga.
I give me a young nigga, man. Listen, I ain't on that. So, at the end of the day, I'm not gonna lie. It's a tough situation.
Yeah, you'll tell your daughter like, look, stay. It's
You
hard.
can't stay because this is how I see it too. There's too many STDs out here for me to tell her to stay with a nigga that's cheating on her, who can possibly bring something back that'll destroy her life.
So if you have that view, then these two fathers, the father that I brought up and the father that Peter brought up, we should be saying these dudes is wrong.
No,
they are wrong, nigga. Hell yeah.
Okay, because I didn't get that feeling.
Oh, I disagree. I don't think they're wrong. I think they're looking out for the best interest of. It's almost like when you lie to your kid to protect them from something else. I think they're looking out for their daughter's best interest.
They are, but I was talking about the actual the men who are cheating.
So I'm talking about the fathers.
Correct.
I'm talking about the fathers. Are the fathers in the wrong? I don't think they're wrong for telling them.
It's two-sided
to stay.
Because
now when you say your answer, remember you 25 years from now with your daughter. So now speak.
I'm not telling my daughter to stay with any man that's mistreating her. It's simple.
But you the same one that were earlier saying how hard it is for women with 3 children to find a man. So you gonna tell her like just be single the rest of your life?
Understand that that's a possibility.
You're gonna tell your daughter to leave this dude and be single.
I'd rather than her do that than to be disrespected from a man and
That's
also
true. Yeah,
and brings back home an ST fucking D.
You
Like,
wouldn't even marry a woman in that situation.
okay, so now I understand that if
All
God
right.
forbid she's in that situation, nigga, I understand what the outcome may mean for her. I'm okay with that.
He said he's okay with her
Fuck you
being
talking about?
single for the rest of her life.
And Junior saying,
You're telling her to stay with this nigga even though he's cheating on her?
Let's say he cheated once, for example.
One time is okay, but you understand that most
y'all need y'all.
understand that most niggas ain't cheating one time. Like, they
What?
Come on,
No, I'm
man.
just fucking with you. Keep going. Keep going. Keep telling your story.
These niggas ain't cheating one time. Like, even both, every scenario that I've known when a woman says, "Oh, you know, he cheated on me." Okay, was it one time? Nah, it was several times. He actually had a whole nother child with somebody else.
That's wild.
Like,
Oh,
so at
child,
what point
that's a
do you
big
tell
thing,
her to
yeah.
have some type of dignity and respect for her own self and say?
No, I think like having another child. I think most women be like, all right, that's.
But
that's
even
not
if,
gonna work.
okay, so imagine you have a husband or boyfriend, whomever you have kids with, and every week you're finding out he's sleeping with other women. Even let's say he don't even have a child with somebody else.
That's crazy.
Understand that these niggas out here is dirty, man. They out here dirty dicking hoes
For
and
sure.
coming home to their fucking wives with that same dick.
For sure.
I'm not
For
gonna
sure.
put my daughter in that situation.
For
God
sure.
forbid, I don't pray that she's ever in that situation to begin with, but I'm not gonna give her no fucking bad advice or just stay with a nigga that's cheating on you just because you know nobody else gonna want you. Man, fuck that. Be single, be happy with your kids, live through your kids vicariously.
I mean, this
It is what
this
it
young
is.
lady. I mean, it sucks, but I be telling her, yeah, let's keep hanging out because you know she's taking care of herself with her little magic, you know, battery operated thing. I'm like, hey, you know, we can still hang out.
So you'll fuck her, but you won't
hell
marry her.
yeah, exactly.
And
That's what I be trying to
This
tell
the
these women.
one. This the one with 4 kids.
The one with 4 kids, I can hang out, but I ain't giving you no ring.
When I was a little bit younger,
Damn.
I used to
Hell no.
Tough.
When I was a little bit younger, a lot of girls got on me for saying what I'm about to say. Is like, yo, I've always advocated for women to be on like some type of birth control because you can't control what it is that a man's gonna do when he gets you pregnant. Like you might say,
Absolutely.
he should be responsible and do X, Y, Z, but because you have no control over that, you can only protect yourself. And I remember a lot of girls used to be like, "Oh no, that it gets me fat to be on the pill."
Which is
or,
true.
Yeah, they have
But
different
yo,
reactions to
but
it.
what's
the worst case?
You know
You get
what's
what I'm
better?
saying?
You know what I mean? You have these 3 kids. Like, how? First of all, how you even get 3 to 4?
Well,
y'all
why
not
not
even
just-
married. You know what I mean?
That's the
crazy
other
to me.
issue. Like, how do you have 3 kids with a nigga that you're not married to?
Not
That shit is
married.
wild.
Get on that birth control.
That's possible. I mean,
That
No.
shit's stupid. You
Once
should
you
require,
gotta-
at some point you got to require this nigga to listen.
Wow,
You either gonna put a
we
ring
sound
on it.
misogynistic.
No.
Hell no.
That's not even about requiring the dude. My point is you have to take self-responsibility because it's like, yo, look, we had this first child. Boom. It happened. I respect it. I accept it. Now I got to protect myself and I got to get on an IUD. I got to get on the shot. I got to get on the pill.
Depo.
but these
Whatever.
these things that you're adding to the equation are body changing
Yeah.
devices. So IUD, the pill, the ring, all of that is changing the composition of my body. Why would I want to do that to
Take
my
a plan
body?
B, bitch.
So whatever it is that you need to do
Also-
to prevent you having these multiple children, you
From
need
this
to
sorry
do
ass
this.
nigga that ain't commit to
you
you.
cannot say that I will allow myself to just get pregnant by anyone as many times as it
Oh,
happens.
no. I don't think that scenario I'm just having such and such is realistic. I mean, sometimes you
It's
like,
not. Wait, hold up. Time
It
out.
has
It's
to be.
not realistic to say that I could protect myself from having
no,
3
no,
or 4
no.
kids.
The last part when you was just like, I'm just having multiple kids with multiple people willy nilly. Like that's not happening. I
That
think
is
Some,
happening.
it's not. It's
What?
not a
There
lot,
are-
but there
there
are
are
some.
some
That's
women
definitely
who are
happening.
like
course.
that.
But I'm saying it's like I don't think it's as commonplace as just like having one kid.
So
I mean,
then take that. So then take that
multiple
out,
kids.
and then just talk about the situation that these 2 dudes
That's
just
what I'm
talked
saying.
about.
Having multiple kids with the same person, I think, is more realistic.
Yeah, but it's
than-
still just as
And
bad.
you shouldn't be doing that.
If he's not married to you, what's the point?
I think they were married though in this situation.
Okay, well
That
in that
sucks.
situation-
Yeah, that
And
sucks.
that was her
And-
high school sweetheart.
and-
She had known him for a
yeah,
long
he a
time.
fuck boy. In my homegirl situation, that's not the situation. She just had kids by this nigga and thought that he was gonna do better and just kept having kids. Like, baby, he was not. The kids weren't gonna keep a man. You know that thing. That's a lot of women. They think that I can get pregnant by a guy and it's gonna make him stay.
I
Ain't
don't
you
know. I
stupid?
mean, I don't. Fuck. Why
Better
is
get
she
that Planet
stupid?
Fitness.
Like that's his fault. I don't want to blame her and call her stupid.
She should have had higher standards than to get pregnant by a nigga 3
higher
times. And,
standards.
See, I won't go about standards.
Like,
I just
it
think about
sounds
protecting
really
yourself.
harsh.
Just
It's
protecting
really
yourself.
harsh.
I don't know about the standards part,
if you
but just
let a
protecting
nigga
yourself.
get you pregnant 3 times without requiring him to commit to you,
I don't think it's a
Let
matter
him
of standards.
get you pregnant.
I don't think it's a matter of standards. I just think it's a matter of protecting yourself, and you might about to fall.
No, I think, I
Just
think
protect yourself.
A
That's
lot
it.
of times too is like when we have one kid, the incentive to get married is lessened. I don't really like. You don't really want to get married.
Oh, you
like
ain't shit.
the push to get married is less. It's almost like when you get married in the courthouse and then you want to plan a big wedding. Like, for what? You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I feel
it's
you on that part.
We have one kid and then we live together and then it's my birthday and we have another kid. You know what I'm saying? Like things like that be happening. And maybe 10 years later I was drunk and we reminiscing and then we have another kid.
See, now if you with somebody for that amount of time, that's a little
Nigga,
different.
why not buy a ring?
But none of these situations is what we talking about.
No,
Right.
that was the situation.
Everybody
for the
don't
chick.
want
10
to
years,
marry her.
their kids,
She was with the nigga for like 8 years. Yeah, absolutely.
and they had a kid every 8 years.
Not every 8 years. Nigga,
So that's what I'm saying.
Every 2 or 3, but still.
That's exactly. That's my point right there. That's my point
Some
right
people
there.
just like to have sex. It's just that simple.
Yeah, but
And
use
protect
protection
yourself.
and pull out,
Protect
nigga.
yourself.
Then yeah, I would agree.
You must protect
You
yourself.
gotta protect
It's
yourself.
that simple.
Some kind of
You gotta protect yourself.
Because
man.
and I think especially when you catch a nigga cheating the first time and then you still have a child from this nigga, like, do you think that the second child is gonna keep him from doing this shit?
But I think too that people have like soulmates too. So I think like there's people that's gonna be connected to your life for the rest of your life. Now whether you get married or not, well, shit.
That's
hey.
true.
But I just think there's people that they're always gonna be around. So if you go back and forth in and out of streams and you have a kid and that's what I think is gonna happen. That's what I think happens. It's
Yeah,
like this one person is for you.
But that situation that you're talking about right now, man, that's like that's like what? 0.5%? That's not even a percent of all of these situations that we've been talking about. Like
you
it's not like okay, this is my soulmate, so that's why I got multiple kids by him. Nah,
Right.
nigga.
I think that's somewhat it is. I think a lot of these women think that these guys
No,
after
think.
Well, yeah,
A lot of people think a lot of things.
They think that after being with a nigga for 3-4 years, that okay, or even 5-6 years, and we done had
might
3-4
have-
Oh, my
kids.
cup is empty.
Eventually, he's going to marry me.
Oh,
And-
no, that's stupid.
And I think that's the only reason why you still have that many kids from a nigga. You think that it's going to keep him grounded and say, "Oh, he's going to stay because we have 3 or 4 kids together."
Yeah,
but
madame,
you're making
please,
it
don't do
easier
this.
for him when you don't put him on child support.
Don't.
But I mean,
How'd you pivot to that?
and then at that point, I'll come in and I'll say,
But one of the things we haven't talked about is when these young ladies, when they have multiple kids and then nobody, like, you still have to give out in the dating game and find someone. And that's a whole nother issue right there. So it's not like it's going to be better for them. Like their dads are being mean and everybody's saying, hey, you should stay in a relationship. You're saying if you were 60, you're going to tell your daughter to be single. Then these young ladies, they go back to the dating game. And it's not like it's easy in the dating game.
It ain't. I mean, I think in this time, like, again, I said this earlier. I have friends with no kids, well into their professions, 6-figure chicks, own house, Benzes, all that, labels,
Yep.
everything, and they still single. And it's like, and they get to a point where they're like, damn, I gotta get my ass and tits done. What do I got to do to find a man? It's like, so imagine that with a woman who already had 3 kids. She may have stretch marks, she may have a pudge, and on top of it, you have 3 kids with somebody who
You said a pudge like that was like a death.
yeah, no,
it's not.
That was funny.
But you got to understand that your when you have a child, it alters your body drastically. And so you run into a lot of women who at least for me, who I want to get my tits done because my kids suck the life out of my tits, or I want to get my hips done. Or now they got stretch marks, and it's like you add that on top of the fact that you have 3 fucking kids or 4.
Wait, so
It's tough.
what is all right, so I guess your young recommendation is different from your older recommendation. As an old man, you're going to tell your daughter don't settle. As this young version, you're telling them girls to stay in a relationship?
I'm not telling them to stay in a relationship. If a nigga's not treating you right, just understand what leaving him may mean. And I'm not telling you to stay in it.
Right.
I'm just telling you that only you know what you can take. If a man's disrespectful to you, he's cheating on you. It's knocking at your door every day. I have a friend who did that shit. This nigga was married, and the female brought nigga clothes in a bag to his door where he lives with his wife, and was like, "Take your nigga clothes back."
yeah.
I don't know why the fuck she's still with the nigga. That's my dog, but
That's how I
you
do
should have
it.
left. You know what I'm saying? At what point is
But
enough enough?
like you're saying should have left, but don't you also acknowledge the dating game is difficult.
Yeah, but it's difficult for women
So
who
they're
are
both
single.
difficult situations.
Yes, but at some point you got to have self-respect and dignity.
All right.
Okay.
Self-respect,
So
and they're both difficult.
So would you tell her? Would you tell a female to stay with a nigga who's cheating on her constantly?
Are we still talking about the 3 or 4 kids?
It is,
woman?
yeah.
All right. So 3 or 4 kids. I don't know. I might end up on the side of her dad. I wouldn't have been as mean as her dad was, Because some of the things she told me her dad said, like, nobody's ever going to want you. You got 3, 4
And
kids.
that's her dad being real.
That's mean.
That's too strong.
That's
mean.
mean.
That's too strong.
Yes,
It is, but
That's too strong.
Is it realistic though? I mean, I always tell people you can't live in the world of all certainty. You know, like at some point there may be one nigga in the whole world who will be willing to marry you. So you cannot say that 100% of niggas won't want you.
That's true.
I would just say 99.9999% won't.
That's funny.
And that's realistic.
So then, I was thinking about this, like with y'all boys, right? Like, okay, so would y'all be willing? Well, first, would y'all be willing to date a woman with 1 kid?
Yeah.
One.
I have one, so I have to be understanding.
Let's say, all right, 2. I'm trying to get to the max point.
You're trying to get to see what's the
Okay,
breaking
now,
point.
You're saying date or marry? Just date? Yes.
Okay, excuse me,
dating,
marry.
Yeah, marry.
I'm talking about marry. Sorry, with 1 child.
I could,
One,
I could
yes.
probably do 1.
Could you do 2?
Nah.
I don't know.
Okay, so let's get back to 1. So with 1, then, and you said that these women have pudges, stretch marks. Are y'all willing
So
to?
unrealistic.
No,
It's very fucking
No.
realistic.
My fault. Continue.
Yeah.
I'll get
So,
back
boom,
to what I'm saying.
You're on a date with a woman. She has 1 child. You're willing to accept the 1 child. You're willing to accept all the body changes that have come with this 1 child.
Absolutely.
Okay,
I don't
stretch
care.
marks.
I understand this. It's a part of being a woman.
C-section scars.
So
and-
that's why I said
I
that's
don't know. I'm
unrealistic.
kinda
Like
sure.
all that body stuff y'all are talking about, that could be somebody who has no kids. Like we're talking about a pudge. Who has flat stomachs? Come on now.
Bitch, what you mean? Who?
Yeah, you raise your hand. Put your hand down. He does.
I know a lot of women with flat stomachs, but I mean,
Come on,
honestly
man.
and
But
truthfully,
that's not the norm, though.
it is the fucking norm. Cause
Women with flat stomachs. I go on my Facebook right now.
at 30.
That's 'cause you like fat girls. That's the difference.
What it has to do with my Facebook?
It is, you follow fat girls. What the fuck you mean?
No, women.
love big women.
Women at 30, they ain't flat stomach. That's just dead.
Come on,
No,
that's
no,
been
for sure. A lot of
there.
them get their bodies done too.
What are we talking about here?
A lot of them get their bodies done. So at the end of the day, I don't care what a woman's body's
Okay, that's all
changes
right.
Exactly.
I mean, but let's be real. I'm attracted to what I'm attracted to. So, sweetheart, if you got 3 kids and you look like you have 5, I'm not going to fucking even talk to you. We're nothing to talk about. You got to still be in some type of shape. You still have to look presentable to me. I'm not approaching you as a woman.
I hope you are the most in shape,
You know what?
presentable.
I know, right?
But see, me having a child doesn't affect my looks, my body. You get what I'm saying?
That's true. It affects them, yeah.
It affects them, and that's part of the reason why it sucks that a nigga will have 3 kids with a woman and then leave her ass like that. Like, oh, you know,
That's true.
it will fuck nigga to me because you know you took everything from her. You know the possibility of her being somebody's wife, you pretty much made it 10 times worse.
But what
10
if,
times harder.
What if on him he's like, damn, after the 3rd kid, I don't like you anymore.
Yeah.
Why?
She has a personality. Like, you acting like it's just the children. Like, there's women I met with 6-figure professional. They are hard to deal with. I don't want to be with them.
Nigga, you should have done that before the 3 kids. What the
All
fuck
right,
you
who
talking about?
cares?
No, he's saying
so,
the 6-figure without kids. I guess.
yeah, some people they just have shitty personalities.
I agree with that.
Deal
But to
it.
what Big Mike just said, I don't think it takes 3 kids for you to realize I don't like this
Absolutely.
motherfucker. I don't like this person. That's wild to me, man. You tripping.
What if she was to postpartum on that postpartum? Not funny. Never mind.
Yeah.
No, say what you was finna say. Say what you was finna say.
No, I'm saying it's like, what if she went through that on a 3rd child and you couldn't deal with that?
You know
So then
what?
That's
different.
my fault.
I think
I'm
that's
being
different.
weak. That's
Yeah,
my fault.
be stronger for her. That's
fair.
what my thing. You have
That's
to
true.
understand. You have 3 kids. It's a family now. You know, but that's why also I feel like you should have been married to her. After you have a child with a female, by the 2nd child, man, a man should be getting ready to marry you and propose to you. Because I mean, why are you still impregnating her if you're not planning on marrying her?
But a lot of
These
people
aren't
don't-
accidents here.
A lot of people don't see marriages like this end goal, this accomplishment.
Very true. So I ran
That's
into
true,
a
too.
friend of mine today who hit me up. I put a poll on Instagram yesterday, and I put, it was so funny because I put men only. Will you marry a woman who has 3 kids? I put men only. I wanted to see the real statistics. All of the men said no. But somehow it came up to 50-50. So I looked at the fucking people, and of course,
How do you
all the women. and it was funny because it was women who had no kids as well who put yes. I'm like, yo, this is not your situation. You don't have no fucking kids. Why are you voting yes?
Right.
Because I mean, I guess they just feel like as women they have more intrinsic value, like as Peter was saying, than just me having children. You know, what I'm saying? Imagine if like a white dude posted up on his thing, white people only. Would you marry somebody else black, knowing that they're impoverished the most, they're incarcerated the most? Like
Right.
you're setting yourself up for perceived failure. Why would you do
right.
it when you're in the dominant race? So I guess with women it was like, yeah,
Why not do it?
our pussy still work. You know what I mean? Like
I'm still a good person.
I'm still have a brain between my ears.
Yeah, but I also think that was fairy tale thinking too.
Yeah.
I was actually to get a realistic, point of view from men because people always tell you, "Oh, that's just your circle." I'm sorry, man, but I know a lot of niggas, man, from different walks of life, whether they're dope
White,
dealers,
black, blah, 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 blah.
black guys, doctors, pharmacists, lawyers, you guys here, to my niggas who do scams and fraud. These niggas ain't signing up for that shit. It's just not happening.
Yeah, so I guess it's just that it's difficult for some women in these situations once they get their 3-4 kids and they don't have a ring. It's going to be hard for them because one hand, a lot of people they'll still smash, but they ain't gonna give them the ring.
And they'll say you that dream too. That's a sad part about dudes. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and then also you have the situation once you have to get back on the dating game. The dating game ain't easy. So we're sorry, ladies. That's how it is.
But before we get there, it's like, is it the amount of kids? Is that the problem?
I think that's part of it.
I think the dating game allows for one or two.
Especially at our age.
I would say one.
Especially at our age. I think the older you get, the more kids you can have.
Right.
Yeah. But then you also got to understand too, like there's some women out here with 39 with 3 kids. And it's like at that point, baby, listen.
Okay, that's difficult.
You better find you a 55-year-old nigga.
I feel like
how old are those kids?
A 30-year-old nurse with 2 kids. That's still like good. That's acceptable.
No,
I don't want to say acceptable. That's the wrong word. But it's like I feel like in the dating world,
you can tolerate it.
No, I'm not trying to say that.
It's tolerable, but being realistic.
Oh, I'm not saying it's tolerable.
That's a strong word.
But no, but being realistic, you won't find very many men who want to marry that person.
On the flip side, though, I know a lot of girls who say the same thing.
Who
say that they're not dating dudes or marrying dudes with kids.
I respect that.
With multiple
kids, yeah.
So it is what it is. It's just preference. I think that at the end of the day,
just kids are a responsibility, no matter who you are.
And you got to look at it like this: if I'm a man with no kids, and I didn't have kids, not because I didn't want kids, but I didn't want to be financially responsible for kids. Why would I want to marry you and take on the responsibility of 3 of your motherfucking kids that ain't mine, somebody else's responsibility, and that's a lot.
Yeah, 3, I know.
For me, it's
even 2 is a lot.
I'd hate to buy them gifts. Like, oh, here's some Paw Patrol, and they be like, nah, we on Paw Patrol anymore. We on Roblox, nigga. Fuck this. I'm like, nigga, if you don't, this is why I don't buy people for shit. This is why I don't buy gifts for strangers.
Ever since from graduating college, every date I've ever been on, one of the first questions I'm asked is if I have kids.
Right.
And so that's important for women too.
I think women expect men to have kids. I think in the dating, I
think so too.
Scene,
but I've been in a lot of I haven't been on a lot of dates, but for the dates that I have been on, that was something that they told me afterwards when I told them like, nah, I don't have any kids. They would have excluded me had I had kids
in college.
No, I'm talking about from when I graduated college because while I was in college,
Yeah. And what's crazy about that is that it's the world we live in it's not all fair. This is keep it real.
Yeah, like, not at all.
And I think that's one of the issues when you're a man with kids. It's not expected that you actually have your kids on a regular basis and that you actually are active in their life. So, being a woman, if I have a girlfriend, not me, but the average guy, he may get his kids fucking every 2 weeks.
It's funny that you say that.
Or even once a month. I know niggas who most of my homeboys, they get their kids like once a fucking month. So think about it. If you're the one dating a man who gets his kids 1 weekend out of the fucking month, that doesn't fucking really affect you.
It was crazy. I know, to be fair, maybe like 2 girls who told me they wouldn't be with a dude who doesn't see their kids or who doesn't like if you you only get your kid once in a month. Like I don't know because you might be a deadbeat dad or I don't know what situation you got with your baby mom. But I don't want to be a part of that.
Those are smart women.
Yeah, and those
shout out to them.
I agree with that.
And they're smart, and we gotta everybody try to be smart out there.
For sure, man.
And
protect
yourself
yourself
for listening to the
Make the
Shameless
niggas strap
Ghost
up.
podcast.
I'll take care.
For sure.
You're